Hey, what's happened to my man Nate Diaz? Speaking of head knocks, he lost to Jake Paul. I haven't watched it or anything, but
Yeah,
do you
that's
know
some
anything
brutal
about that?
stuff as a fight fan.
These fights are rigged, right?
That's what my little brother says. He agrees with that. I don't know. I don't know how. I tried to probe him on like how does that work? Who's setting it up? How does it? Is it just get paid and lose? Is that what you're thinking it is?
I think we're gonna make a spectacle. I can get you paid, but you're not gonna win the fight. And Nate Diaz, who's in the twilight, he's not even. He's retired, right? He's done.
He is out of his UFC contract, which was he's been stuck in a UFC contract since he won the Ultimate Fighter #2, which was decades.
Yeah. So I'd say it's a nice little pay bump.
Definitely.
If whichever Paul it is, it's Jake, right?
Jake
goes through and says, mate, I'm going to get you a nice tidy little 20 mil. Does that interest you? Yes, I'm interested. All right, we're going to pump this up. Yep. But I don't lose these fights. And Nate goes, no problem, mate, because I'm not there's no benefit in winning that fight.
Yeah.
He's not getting a bigger purse, I assume. He's probably just getting a payday.
I didn't watch the fight, but I'd be able to tell their intent if the punches that they're throwing are meant to knock each other out or whether or not they're just having a good time out there. I reckon I'd be able to work that out. I know Nate Diaz threw a guillotine on in the final round.
Did he?
And it was weird the way this fight came about because they were at a press conference and Nate Diaz is talking shit like he does. He's the man. And he was saying, why are we doing 6 rounds? Why aren't we doing 8 rounds? You know? Right. And Jake's sitting across from him going, you want to do 8 rounds? We'll do 8 rounds. Fine, I'll do 8 rounds. And then in the same panel, he says, fuck it, we should be doing 10 rounds for this shit. You should be doing 10 rounds. Nate Diaz is gone, we should be doing 10 rounds. Jake Paul says, all right, man, we'll do 10 rounds. They did 10 rounds.
That seems scripted. That seems all part of the show.
It could be, but why would you, if it's just for a payday, why wouldn't you just do the 6 rounds and be done with it?
Yeah, that's true.
So
more people,
10 rounds.
More people buying. I don't know.
Yeah, no, true. You could be right.
The problem with thinking it's all part of a show is there's nothing they can do. Like whatever happens, and it is the show. Like it's one of those things that you just can't really poke a hole in the story. Do you know what I mean?
Nate Diaz should have been able to outbox.
Are they the same weight class though?
I'd say nah.
For some reason, I feel like Jake Paul's a bit bigger.
He is a bit bigger.
He's a big boy. I saw Nate Diaz training, doing quick uppercuts. Someone was holding a bag and he was doing these quick uppercuts. So he's panting away. And he had just a joint in his mouth. He's just puffing smoke out while he was pounding a bag. Like I don't imagine he was taking the training that seriously, right?
He's been doing that his whole career, but not usually while he's throwing wicked uppercuts. That's a new one. That's definitely a new one. But he lit a joint up at a UFC show like years ago. Like while you know how the camera pans around to the celebrities in the house tonight? They go, so and so's here, so and so's here. Then it cuts to Nate Diaz, and he just pulls his spliff out and just starts to light it. And I think they just cut away. I don't know why he did that.
You can do it once, I guess.
How it's really in vogue at the moment to do these, to have this cross-pollination between sports, particularly boxing and MMA and stuff like that. What I want to see is your man, Val, slap Jesus.
I don't know if he's my man, but yeah, slap Jesus, get him. What are we doing with him?
Taking on Nate Diaz with the Stockton slap.
Oh, in a slap fight.
Ooh.
I don't know if slap fighting's a thing anymore. He was a slap fighting guy on the show, the first reality show of slap fighting.
Right.
The first season of Dana White's slap fighting thing. Oh,
right. I cannot believe Dana White is behind that. I can't believe it.
It was so bad. And I don't know if it's still going, man. I don't know if they've just nipped it.
Really?
See you later. But with the Jake Paul, Nate Diaz thing, they did say that they'll do a rematch in MMA. He's like, I'll give you 10 mil to rematch me in MMA. And if they do that, sure. That would be
game over, right?
Yeah, that would be a bad move for him. But Nate Diaz doesn't look great from if you're talking about sort of concussion, early signs of a person sort of slurring their words. He's always kind of had that thing going for him, but
It's a bit worse.
It just
now.
doesn't look good when you're punching on, for money. And what also doesn't look good is the way that trainers have to behave around their fighter, which is you're the man, you're going to go out there and knock him out. Like looks good. He looks good. Like the coach will be going, oh, he looks good. If he looks good, he should be able to knock out this YouTube guy. That's just the way I feel about it. If you're telling me that Nate Diaz is looking good, he should be able to destroy people. So it's not very genuine, is it? All the pre-fight hype is what I'm trying to say.
Part of the show.
It's very much part of the show.
You guys have seen X-Arm, have you, by any chance?
X-Arm?
I think it's called X-Arm.
No, what's this?
I believe that they bind. It's the combination of arm wrestling,
X-Arm greatest hits,
and punching. I think you're arm wrestling.
Yeah.
You're attached at the arm, but I'm pretty sure you're allowed to punch with your other arm.
Great. You got a free hand while you're arm wrestling. Why not use it? Is that the idea?
Oh boy, it's brutal. I'm just watching something now. It seems like the arm wrestling aspect of it gets thrown out the window.
Yeah. It's just like you shake someone's hand, don't let go, and then it's fight on. Game on.
Oh, right. So they're not trying to put each other's hand down like a traditional arm wrestle. It's like you just connected at the hands. I see.
Is that just to keep you close together?
Just so you can't you can get punched.
This?
So there's another thing you should pop into your Google feed there, Dan, which is phone box fighting. They literally put two men in a phone box and they fight in there.
Oh my gosh.
Like the cage is too big. Like the cages and the boxing rings, they're just too big. There's too much room for the fighter to move around. No, let's get them literally in a phone box. Yeah. I'm not lying.
Oh my gosh. I didn't want to say this. Like, I don't know if you guys are big in Russia, but as soon as I saw the thumbnail on YouTube, I was like, I bet those guys are Russian. And then I clicked it and the names at the bottom are very Russian.
The only people who are doing this are the Russians. They've got MMA where it's set in a playground, like a jungle gym, but it's MMA. So you can run around and go up high, get the high ground. But at the end of the day, it's just people punching on.
What is the strategy?
They do like 2v2, which is terrifying. They'll do a 5v1. It's fucking wild.
What do you mean a 5v1?
They'll have a guy who just is better than five other guys.
So they have five people good. Like me versus Conor McGregor.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it felt like. But in the 2v2s, all that happens is that one guy gets punched out. Someone will have him in. He'll be just standing in the guard, just raining down punches, and the ref will say, "This guy's out."
And then it's a gangbang.
Just a 2-on-1 where someone's just getting punched in the head when they're just trying to survive. It's not very. It's. I
get very uncomfortable. I've seen the 5-on-5s, and I'm like, I'm having a good time when there's 5 individual fights going on. I'm like, this is okay. Like, this is fun. It's just like
when people are just coming in for the king hits.
Yeah, as soon as one dude gets tapped and it becomes a 5-on-4, I start getting uncomfortable with what's happening because you see the dominoes start falling.
Yeah, and it doesn't ever turn around, does it?
It doesn't. There's been no comeback. It's whoever wins. They should stop the fight at that point. It should be like a team death match, and then once one person beats the other one, it's like, well, the whole team.
Yeah, you're wiped. Yeah. But they just punch on. It's terrifying.
How long do you have to fight on knowing that you're just going to get beaten up? How long do you have to put on the show that you're still there and trying?
I have no idea what's going through these people's minds.
Because you don't need to take that unnecessary damage. Just tap, right?
Yeah, but if you're the first guy to tap, you're condemning your fellow brethren to a beating.
Oh, no, I'm saying when once the dominoes are falling.
Sure, tap.
Yeah, I mean, you're done. Once you're outnumbered.
Yeah.
Speaking of tap, can I tap out for 2 minutes to sort my children who
are certainly
hear in the background
going
crazy?
You certainly can.
I'll just mute my mic. I'll come back in
no probs.
90 seconds.
I don't want to be contributory negligent for your
Yes, thank you. I appreciate
antics,
that.
And it would be documented as well, like if he was staying there. And
correct. Right, that's evidence.